Sometimes the Italian prepositions in, a, and su can translate directly to in, at, and on in Italian, but not always. So how do you know which one to use? Well, there's a small set of patterns in Italian that make choosing between in, a, and su insanely intuitive. So in this video, I'll show you what those patterns are and share some simple tricks that will help you to pick the correct preposition every single time. Pronti? Iniziamo! Let's start with a situation that trips up even the most advanced learners, but with one trick, you'll never get it wrong again. Let's say you've just arrived in Florence and your Italian cousin calls and asks, "Where are you right now?" And you want to say you're in your hotel room. How do you say this? Is it sono in hotel or sono a hotel? Here's an easy way to remember it. Look around. What do you see? Walls, the floor, the roof. You're inside. The Italian preposition you need is hiding right there at the start of the word. You already know. In for inside. So the correct response would be sono in hotel. I'm in the hotel. Here are some more example sentences.
Sono in cucina.
I am in the kitchen.
Lavoro in ufficio.
I work in an office.
Studio in biblioteca.
I study in the library. So here's rule number 1. Use in with places you can walk into. Are you enjoying this lesson? Don't let the learning stop here. Make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet, which includes all these tips in one handy guide, plus a bonus quiz. To get your free copy, just click on the link in the description below this video. Now let's fix another common mistake that almost everyone makes, and it's an easy fix too. Now say your mum is on the phone and wants to know which city you're in. You want to say that you're in Florence. Do you say sono in Firenze or sono a Firenze? Here's a little trick to remember the right preposition. At every airport and train station, there is an arrivals board. And what does it start with? A. That's the preposition you need for cities you arrive in. So you can say sono a Firenze. I'm in Florence. Here are some more examples.
Vivo a Roma.
I live in Rome.
Vado a Milano.
I go to Milan.
Siamo a Napoli.
We are in Naples. Now here's where it gets interesting. What if you want to say that you're in Italy? You're visiting a country, not just a city. Do you say sono in Italia or sono a Italia? Think of it this way. When you go to Italy, you don't just arrive at a point. You cross the border and you're inside its territory. And what did we say about being inside something? That's right, we use in. And we say sono in Italia. I am in Italy. Here are some more examples.
Studio in Spagna.
I study in Spain.
Vado in Francia.
I go to France.
Siamo in Portogallo.
We are in Portugal. Now the same goes for regions because, just like countries, they're big areas that you go inside of. So we say,
Vado in Toscana.
I'm going to Tuscany.
Vivo in Sicilia.
I live in Sicily.
Resto in Piemonte.
I remain in Piedmont. So rule number 2 is, a city is a point that you arrive at, and we use a. A country or region is a big space that you go inside of, so we use in. Now this next situation confuses almost all learners because there are 2 correct answers, but they mean different things. Okay, so let's say that evening you head out for dinner and you want to text your cousin to let her know that you've arrived. How do you say I'm at the restaurant? Is it sono al ristorante or sono nel ristorante? Well, they're both correct, but they mean something slightly different. Remember our arrivals board from earlier? A restaurant is just like a city. It's a place you arrive at. So you write sono al ristorante. I'm at the restaurant. Now this tells your cousin where you are now. You're at the restaurant, not at the hotel, for example. Then she texts you back and asks you to send a photo of the menu, but you're still waiting outside. Now here, it's not about the destination, it's about physically being inside the building. And what do we use when we're inside? In. So in this case, we need to respond with
Non sono ancora nel ristorante.
I'm not inside the restaurant yet. Attenzione! Did you notice those little changes in a? It's al ristorante, not a ristorante. And we say nel ristorante, not in ristorante. That's because the prepositions a and in combine with the article il to form the so-called articulated prepositions al and nel. Now don't worry too much about these yet. Just be aware of them for now, as they'll pop up again later. Here are some more examples.
Sono alla stazione.
I'm at the station. This means I've arrived and this is where I am.
Sono nella stazione.
I am in the station. This means I'm within the building, not outside.
Sono al supermercato.
I'm at the supermarket. That's where I am right now. It's my destination.
Sono nel supermercato.
I am inside the supermarket. I'm physically in the supermarket between the aisles. So rule number 3 is a marks where you are at a destination. In marks that you're inside the physical space. Are you enjoying this lesson? Don't let the learning stop here. Make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet, which includes all of these tips in one handy guide, plus a bonus quiz. To get your free copy, just click on the link in the description below this video. Next, we're going to see one of the most satisfying tricks in Italian, and once you learn it, you'll never forget it. Now, let's say you check into your hotel and you start unpacking. You put your suitcase on the stand, you arrange your shoes on the floor, and you toss your phone on the bed, and you notice a beautiful painting hanging on the wall. And what do all these things have in common? They're all touching a surface, and there's your clue. The word surface contains the preposition that you need. So we say,
La valigia è sul supporto.
the suitcase is on the stand.
Le scarpe sono sul pavimento.
The shoes are on the floor.
Il telefono è sul letto.
The phone is on the bed.
Il quadro è sul muro.
The painting is on the wall. Now here we see more examples of articulated prepositions. This time, su combines with the article il to form sul. Now these are all things on top of a surface. So rule number 4 is, when something is resting on a surface, use su. Now next we're going to look at a rule so simple it'll make you wonder why no one told you sooner. Now let's say the next morning you call the hotel reception to book a taxi. The concierge asks, what time do you want to depart? Now in English you'd say, I want to leave at 10 o'clock. And here's the good news. Italian works exactly the same way. Where English uses at for time, Italian also uses a. So you say,
Voglio partire alle 10.
I want to leave at 10. There it is again, an articulated preposition. This time, a combines with the article le to form alle. Now, Italian uses feminine plural articles for hours. That's why we say alle 10, alle 3, alle 7. Now, to learn more about how to tell the time in Italian, make sure you watch my video right here. And next, the concierge asks, and when are you coming back to Florence? You want to say you'll come back in February, but Italian treats months the same way it treats time. Saying things like at 10 o'clock and in February are specific moments, like hitting a target with an arrow. We need to use a, the a in arrow. Here's what we should say.
Torno a febbraio.
I'll be back in February. Here are some more examples.
Sono nato a marzo.
I was born in March.
Partiamo a giugno.
We leave in June. But what if you want to say you'll be back in a specific season rather than a specific month? Now here, Italian does follow the logic that we already know. A season isn't a precise moment. It's a long stretch of time, weeks and weeks. You live inside a season, you're surrounded by it, just like you're surrounded by a country and its borders. And what do we use when we're inside something? In. So in this case, we say,
Torno in inverno.
I'll be back in winter. Now here are all 4 seasons that you can learn as set phrases.
In estate.
In summer,
In autunno.
in autumn, fall,
In inverno.
in winter,
In primavera.
in spring. So here's rule number 5. For time and months, which are precise moments, use a. For seasons, that is long stretches of time that you live inside of, you use in. Are you enjoying this lesson? Don't let the learning stop here. Make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet, which includes all of these tips in one handy guide, plus a bonus quiz. To get your free copy, just click on the link in the description below this video. Now this next situation seems a little bit strange at first, but if you think like an Italian does, it makes perfect sense. Now let's say you're about to check out and the concierge asks how you're getting to your hotel from the airport. You want to say that you'll take the metro or the underground. But how do you say this in Italian? Well, here's the trick. When traveling by a vehicle, be it a car, a plane, the metro, the subway, you go inside it, right? And being inside something, as we know, requires in. So you say,
Vado in metropolitana.
I'm taking the metro, underground, subway. Literally, I'm going by metro, underground, subway. Here are some more examples.
Vado in macchina.
I go by car.
Vado in treno.
I go by train.
Vado in autobus.
I go by bus.
Vado in aereo.
I go by plane.
Vado in taxi.
I go by taxi. And we also say,
Vado in bicicletta. Bici.
I'll go by bike, bicycle. Now you might be thinking, you don't exactly go inside a bike. But here, Italian isn't thinking about the physical object. It's thinking about the mode of transportation here. When you're on a bike, you're inside the experience. And what does that mean when you're inside something? You use in, which also means we would say,
Vado in moto. Motorino.
I go by bike, scooter. So rule number 6 is, for modes of transportation, we use in. Now let's see where a trick that we learned earlier shows up again somewhere you'd probably never expect. Now let's say you're scrolling on your phone on TikTok or Instagram and you see a beautiful place in Florence and you want to ask the concierge where it is. How do you say, I saw it on Instagram? Well, think of it this way. Social media, websites, and platforms are all surfaces that you scroll through. Your fingers glide across the screen, across the surface. And as we saw earlier, surfaces require su. So we say,
L'ho visto su Instagram.
I saw it on Instagram. Here are some more examples.
L'ho letto su Facebook. Ho visto un video su YouTube. L'ho trovato su Google.
So here's rule number 7. For digital surfaces, we need su. Now let's take a look at some situations where in, a, and su don't follow any of the rules that we've covered so far. Now these are set phrases that Italians use all the time in daily conversation. And the best way to learn them is to learn them as chunks, that is, as set phrases, without trying to figure out their logic, because usually that doesn't exist. Let's take a look at in. Here are some set phrases to learn as a group.
In ritardo.
Late,
In anticipo.
early,
In vacanza.
on holiday,
In tempo.
on time. Here are some common ones that use a.
A casa.
At home,
A piedi.
on foot,
A destra.
on the right,
A caso.
randomly. And here are some common ones that use su.
Su internet.
On the internet,
Su richiesta.
upon request,
Su misura.
custom made,
Su appuntamento.
by appointment. If you learn these as chunks and use them often, you'll soon stop thinking about in, a, and su because they'll just come out naturally. Now, even though you now know the difference between in, a, and su, none of it matters if you waste your time learning other parts of Italian grammar that you'll never actually use. So watch this video here where I share exactly what you should focus on to learn Italian so fast that it feels like cheating.